Cannabis Connection in the house.
420 boys in the building.
For the Extreme Retro Review for ECW. February 1st, 1997. ECW crosses the line again. It's Extreme Retro Review number 249.
Sheets.
Greatest ECW podcast in the known and unknown multiverse. Gotta give a shout out to my boy Shim.
What up, Shim? How's the second best ECW podcast in the known and unknown multiverse doing?
Also gotta give a shout out to his cohort Steve OG. I don't show you enough love. The hot stuff Hollywood to Shim's food.
Oh, I have got to listen to this goof now. I got enough doppelgangers floating around out here in the multiverse as it is and shit. Where they from? Earth 4?
4.
Okay. All right.
Here we are, crossing the line again. Extreme Retro Review number 249. Extreme Retro Review number 49. ECW had crossed the line the first time.
Yeah.
1994, recounted by us. When I put those shows side by side, the first show is very famous for the 60-minute Broadway between Funk, Shane, and Sabu. This show is not famous for anything.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's really just another show. There's a couple of moments. The matches to me are but the angles, this is a very angle-heavy show.
Yeah.
And finally, without spoiling it, the greatest turn in ECW history. I now present to you the conductor, the engineer, and road whoreman of the Pony Poon Express. The man who holds the Street Smart Audio Pay-Per-View Predictions Championship.
Viva la raza.
And once again, gunning for the Street Smart Audio Trivia Championship, because at Extreme Retro Review number 250, yours truly will be laying down the challenge yet again.
It's about damn time.
Take it away, hot stuff. The floor is yours.
That is awesome to hear. First of all, that is great news to hear. I can't wait till we get to 250. But in the meantime, we are at Extreme Retro Review number 249. We're crossing the line again. This first segment should have gave me an idea how this show was going to go. The show starts off with Paulie in the ring. He's flanked by Todd Gordon, Terry Old-Ass Funk is in there, Sandman, RVD, Bubba. Looks like all the faces. Gary and Anthony's out there. He's announcing the main event for a show that's going to happen on April 13th, which is a Sunday. It's going to be ECW's first pay-per-view, Barely Legal. That main event is... in case you haven't guessed by now, it's going to be Sabu versus Taz. So Taz is off standing up by the Eagle's Nest with the heels. It looks like the Eliminators and shit. They're looking all tough as shit. Then after that, they played some clips of Sabu and Taz hyping the main event for the that show, which is, let me see, so this is February, March, April. So 2 months from now, they're hyping this show at the beginning of this show. Fuge, your thoughts?
To begin with, I thought the setup was nice. You got Paul and Todd in the ring with all the baby faces. The heels are sequestered to the Eagle's Nest. Couple of notes. I did not see Shane Douglas with the heels.
Oh, I didn't either.
I did not see Raven with the heels. However, Rob Van Dam was in the ring with the baby faces. So I thought that was quite confusing because he hasn't turned. There's nothing about his character that said, I'm a babyface.
But maybe they figured just him teaming with Sabu would be enough of a signal that he was a good guy, quote unquote. Now maybe.
Stay tuned.
Oh shit!
And rounding out everything, I did see the BWO in the back with the heels on the Eagles now.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Stay tuned.
All right. So the opening match is featuring, so I didn't know who it was because I write the notes as I go and shit. So at first I wrote Some Goof versus, it looks like a young Lance Storm.
That would be Balls Mahoney.
So I was going to say, come to find out that Goof is Balls Mahoney and shit. So yeah, these two actually have a pretty good match, in my opinion. Lance ends up winning with a spinning heel kick from the top rope. Fuge, your thoughts?
ECW debut for both guys. Both guys had worked in Smoky Mountain Wrestling up until its cancellation. They had a pretty good opening match.
Yeah.
And they both got over. Lance Storm's rat tail was quite off-putting. And just seeing it flop around and shit as he's jumping from pillar to post and shit. I want to highlight Lance Storm's agility in this match.
Yeah.
Running, getting hit with the Irish whip, countering it by jumping, flat foot to the top rope to come back with the diving elbow. I was like, holy shit. That is impressive. I also want to note that Balls Mahoney was stringing along a good amount of offense and got over with the crowd. So by the end of the match, I was perfectly acceptable opener with two guys who know how to work.
All right. Look at us being on the same page there. Shit. All right. So next match we have Ricky Morton in the ring with the chick who has her ass out.
Well, I thought it was her back with a piece of fabric.
Yeah, because she literally had no ass at all.
Yeah, she looked like Francine when Francine had her thong out and shit. So what is going? She had the assless chaps and shit. I said, who is this broad? I thought it was Peach's mother.
Yeah. So, yeah, but apparently she was trying to go for some sex. I mean, it was 1997, though, because I don't think asses that flat hadn't been in for a while, but I digress. She was flaunting what she didn't have.
She shook what her mother did not give her.
Yeah. And also in the ring were the BWO.
Oh my God!
I wasn't sure who was about to face Ricky because the announcer announced everybody. But come to find out, it was Stevie Richards.
Who cares? Did you really want to see Nova or the Blue Meanie in a match against Ricky Morton?
Absolutely not. But he started off introducing Nova, so I was a little confused. I'm like,
at least he's Nova now, Hollywood Nova now, instead of Hollywood Bob Starr.
Yeah, that was stupid. And I also made note that Ricky Morton was rocking the Confederate stripes on his tights, it looked like.
As he's always... well, basically, you know what? Those are his heel tights.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, because down in Smoky Mountain, he was working as a heel.
Ah.
Yeah, so, no, I'm sorry. Those are his heel tights when he comes up north.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's from the South. That's what it is. My bad. Why? He'd be a fucking babyface wearing a Confederate flag on his tights in the goddamn Nashville.
Yeah.
Doofus Fuge in the house.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, yeah, Stevie starts off with some actual wrestling with Ricky at the beginning of the match. Getting arm drags in and headlock takeovers and all that other technical chain catch can Greco-Roman shit that some people Jones out for. Overall, the match was basically super clean, except for Ricky Morton did nut check Stevie one time, but outside of that, it's no weapons and all that other stuff ECW can do. Ultimately, Stevie wins with the Stevie kick. Admittedly, Ricky seemed like he saw coming for like 5 minutes because my nigga Stevie tuned up the band for like 2 hours and Ricky was just standing there before he got his head kicked off. 1, 2, 3, your winner, Stevie Richards. Fuge, your thoughts?
Couple of notes. Geek Ortiz said the broad's name. I could not care less. The crowd chants, "Show your tits." So Meanie pulls up his shirt.
Oh, God.
There's fake BWO chants because I saw nobody's mouth moving in the crowd.
Gotta love overdub.
Morton is the heel of the match, yet Blue Meanie gets the heat spot. Stevie does some gay shit with the 10 punches in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he hit him. You know, hit him motherfucker 9 times, and then started face fucking this nigga in with his wiener and shit.
Yeah.
Joey cleans it up by saying, Stevie's having fun.
No, he just face fucked Ricky Morton in the corner, Joey.
He's just having fun. Kid. I'm sure it was an honor, you know, being in a match with Ricky Morton, one of the perennial tag guys of the business. And, you know, he does a job for you and everything. Yeah. Jackknife into the Stevie kick. Dud. Yeah. They give the bitch a BWO t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
She takes the BWO t-shirt, you know what I'm saying, then hides it in her fabric.
Yeah.
Ricky Morton's recovering, you know, and then she's doing the hide sale job. It's awful. I mean, you keep up with jobber matches like these, this review will be very quick.
Yeah. Next up. Oh, man, we have Dr. Death, Steve Williams versus Axel Rotten.
Again, keep up with these jobber matches. This review will be quick.
Oh, man, squash for Dr. Death. He wins with a backdrop driver.
LOL.
So Joey goes on to do an interview with him, but Raven comes to join the party. Dr. Death, he wants a shot. He wants a shot at Raven.
But when did he say that? Because they just cut, like, nigga hits with the backdrop driver. 1, 2, 3. Bullet static. Raven's in the ring. They facing off. Joey's in the ring. Mediating against the two. Where did the title shot come from? Dr. Death said something. I couldn't understand what he said.
What?
Oh, man, yeah.
Then Raven says, look, if you want the title, come get it, motherfucker, or some shit, and lays down the belt. Then they start fighting. Then Todd comes out.
Yeah.
Then Finnegroof comes out and makes it a match.
Yeah.
When did Raven become a badass? Like, he was always the cerebral heel, and then chicken shit in the ring. And then there's like a bunch of fucking gaga, and then gets the win. Yeah. Where the fuck is the loaded boot?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, where is the load? I missed the loaded boot.
Again.
I love the loaded boot.
I hate the loaded boot. But you dropped the loaded boot to have this fucking wild, out of control brawl with with Dr. Death, Steve Williams. I keep want to say Stevie Richards because this goof got into the goddamn match.
Yeah. He did. So they start having a match. Raven, he has the upper hand at first. No. Dr. Death had the upper hand at first. He was whooping on Raven's ass and shit. Oh. So when Raven finally did get the upper hand, the BWO comes out with Peaches and Tyler in full BWO regalia.
Peaches is awful. Yeah. Okay? I don't know if y'all know this, but she is quite literally the most hideous woman on this planet.
Oh, man, I can't look directly at
this
her.
Bitch had on the BWO shirt with a jean skirt or some shit.
Yeah.
Tyler in front of her looking like a serial killer. Yeah. What the fuck is going on? What necessitated this turn? Oh, when did she leave the thrall of Raven? Like, what happened? Did the BWO shirt just magically, whisk her away and rehab her mind? What happened?
I literally wrote WTF.
Angle aborted. Yeah.
That's how we do it. We just, all right, you guys are in the BWO.
We got a pay-per-view to shield. Fuck this shit. Sponsors ain't gonna like brainwashing kids and sex slave ex-wives and shit.
Oh, that might explain the Raven the Badass. You take away the crazy shit he could do. Yeah, shit.
You going national now. Now you gotta flip the switch. So now Raven's is badass. Going toe-to-toe with Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Yeah.
When this motherfucker was going back and forth with the putts in 95. Yeah.
Struggling.
Yeah. He got all types of help. Yeah. He had the pit bulls. Nigga had No. This nigga first had Johnny Hot Body.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And the fashion plate of ECW, the Broad Street Bully, Tony the Hitman Stetson.
Oh man, only the real ECW niggas will know them names. Come on, somebody.
This nigga had brought forth the Dudleys.
Yeah, sure did. I forgot he's the reason there was a Dudley fam.
This nigga had Vampire Warrior. And now this nigga is standing up 10 toes down with Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Putting hands to faces, fam.
What is going on?
So as soon as Peaches and Tyler make their appearance and shit, Stevie gets into the ring. Tyler and Peaches get on the apron. Stevie's face to face with Raven. They start pushing each other. Dr. Death, he comes back and he uses that to his advantage to take off on Raven, whoop his ass a little bit of shit. Stevie, he tries to see if Dr. Death wants to be down with the BWO, takes off his shirt and hands it to him and shit. Dr. Death, being I guess he's a loner, so you know what I'm saying, he ripped that motherfucker up and shit. So unfortunately, Dr. Death's insolence requires that he has to eat 3 super kicks. Now, the first 2 he no-sold.
Yo, the first one he no-sold, stood right back up, stuck his tongue out and shit. I was like, yo. Hit him with the second one, the motherfucker delayed sale, but came back up, stuck his tongue out again. I was like, yo. It was the third super kick that I didn't like. Because this motherfucker Stevie was tuning the band up so long.
I love Ricky Morton style.
Yo. And his little Daisy Dukes kept flopping around and shit. I said, I can't take this shit serious no more. He's a geek. Misses the super kick, or ducks the super kick, hits him with the counter joint, right? Raven comes back in, DDT's that nigga for the win. Yeah. Entertaining dud.
Now, Joey had mentioned that prior to that defeat, Dr. Death hadn't been defeated in North America for 10 years.
Who cares? The nigga was in Japan. It's like, look. It's like, nigga, it's like you losing the 177 HWO heavyweight championship. You know what I'm saying? But you was living in Tampa the whole goddamn time. Then you came back and dropped the strap.
But I held it down all that time.
Right. The nigga was in All Japan Pro Wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Tossing niggas around and shit. Then comes back 10 years later. I mean, he had some stints in WCW and shit. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, like, he was in Japan the whole time.
Oh, my goodness.
What is going on?
I wish I knew, Fuge. So next up, we have Sandman coming out to some shitty music. He's facing off against Devon.
You know what, though? You can actually kind of hear part of Inner Sandman during during his little his shit, because I was hearing part of the chorus, and conversely speaking, I saw the crowd popping because Sandman took his sweet ass time around ringside to, you know, take up all the goddamn cheers and adulation of the ECW mutants. And I say that in reference to all the other goddamn overdubbed crowd sweetening that they use and shit. This shit is authentic. Even through the overdub, you can tell that this is genuine. All right? Rather than, you know what I'm saying, earlier, you know, they chanting BWO and there's like nobody moving. Yeah.
Niggas eating popcorn.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas taking piss breaks and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, you over here got a neck beard, you know, jiggling his man boobs around and shit.
What up, Neck Beezy?
Neck Beezy in the Heezy.
Shaking his man Beezy's.
Crossing the Leezy.
Oh, shit. Unfortunately, I couldn't hear Enter the Sandman under this shit. So that was, normally I enjoy a long Sandman saunter and shit, but that was just brutal. And apparently, Devon felt the same way, because that was Sandman's opponent. And he got tired of listening to the shitty music too, and he got the action started. Sandman versus Devon. So they brawl all around ringside, and when they finally do get back in the ring, though, Devon gets straight brutalized by Sandman. Ultimately, Sandman wins with a top rope leg drop onto Devon, who had a chair on top of his face.
The only thing that I gave a fuck about during this match was when they were brawling around ringside and they were fighting in front of the Extreme grandmother. I popped like shit. I'm like, yo, Extreme Granny! God damn! But other than that, entertaining brawl. Devon gets real natural heat. Sandman is loved by the crowd, even though they're not in a feud per se. This match got over, and just based off the characters alone, they didn't have to do much, but they did. So it was an entertaining match.
So next we have Joel Gertner in the ring. He's there to announce the winner of the match. He gets on the microphone and he begins to proclaim that the winner of the match with the score of 4-2, Devon, LMAO. So of course Sandman, who having just legit won the match, is having no parts of that, and unfortunately he whacks poor Joel with his cane. Devon begins to attack Sandman, and Bubba and Spike come out, seemingly to appear that they're going to get their brother off of Sandman. But Bubba does the unexpected and begins to attack the Sandman.
This nigga came out with the chair. He paused, hesitated, and I knew it was coming. I've seen this shit out of context. So now that I've seen this shit concurrently and consecutively, motherfucking finally, after 2 years of this babyface Dudley shit, Bubba Ray Dudley finally turns heel. Yeah. Glorious. He hits the nigga with the chair the first time. He turns to Devon. Devon looks at Bubba. They start smiling. Spike is looking at both them niggas like, oh shit. Fuck you. He goes to fight both of them. They beat his ass. They give him the first Dudley death drop, called a double Bubba cutter.
Well, don't worry, they'll work on that.
It's a work in progress.
It gets better.
They trade off hitting Sandman with the chair, hitting Sandman with the cane, hitting Sandman with the chair, hitting Sandman with the cane until he's down to the ground. And then all of a sudden, Natural Born Killers hits and the gangsters hit the ring. Mustafa comes to the ring with a kitchen sink. LOL. Gangsters getting their shit in. All of a sudden, the tables get turned, and now the gangsters are getting beat up during their theme song.
Yeah.
I harken back to an earlier Extreme Retro review when you said it is basically the antithesis of a theme song for you to get your ass whooped to your own shit. It's like getting whooped in your own house.
Exactly. You want to get your ass whooped to your theme song.
I gave the match a 3. I gave the post-match a 5. But I should have said I gave the match a 3D. And that's the end of part 1 of Crossing the Line.
Oh man, just real quick, I just want to add, I like the booking decision that they had with the Dudleys retaining their heat, because I was concerned when the gangsters came out and they started taking off on them. I'm like, oh shoot, these motherfuckers but to steal their heat and shit. But
oh no, that whole thing was all about establishing the Dudleys, getting their finish over, and putting them on par with the top tag teams in ECW immediately by beating the gangsters back down. So no, that was for them. If there's some questionable booking decisions on this show, but that was not one of them. That was spot on.
Well done. And we're on to part 2. So next up, we have some tag team action, ladies and gentlemen. We have the tag team champions, the Eliminators, facing off against RVD and the man who will be main eventing fully or barely legal against Taz. For the 0 subscribers on Street Smart Video, the Foods just opened up a frozen Corona and it just literally jizzed all over him. So like I said, it's the Eliminators versus Sabu and RVD. This was a great fucking match and shit. Like y'all heard a few of my quote unquote play-by-plays, you know what I'm saying? I just give you the overall gist and the shit that I like. So it was a great match. One of the high spots for me was when RVD had Saturn and a surfboard, and Sabu dropped the elbow on the Saturn and shit.
That's when the match turned around for me, because up until then they were trying to do they were trying to have a regular match and shit, and I was like, man, this is bullshit. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, RVD did the surfboard on Saturn, and Sabu came off the top with the little crossbody chop or whatever, little Tatanka joint. I was like, yo, all right, I'm in it. I'm in it now.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's also a spot where Saturn. He was in a single leg crab and got leg dropped and shit. I'm like, dang, that shit looked like a hurt. Hopefully they took care of each other and shit. Well, as far as tag team matches go and shit, I said this was a great tag team wrestling, particularly from Sabu and RVD and shit, because you know they look like they just started teaming together and they just seemed like they had great continuity and just like little shit they would do with their tag team maneuvers. Like one time RVD tripped one of the Eliminators that tripped him toward this corner and shit, and you know what I'm saying, just like little intricate bits of psychology like that and shit. But yeah, I wrote I wasn't bored for a second when I was watching this. I love Total Elimination, so for some reason RVD and Sabu ended up on this little ass ladder in the middle of the ring and shit. Inexplicable to me. Their tomfoolery cost them because they got totally eliminated off of that ladder, and of course I LOL. The match does end when RVD gets a solo total elimination. He gets totally eliminated. 1, 2, 3. The Eliminators win. Before we get into the awesome post-match, Foods, your thoughts on the tag match?
I can only give this match 2.5 stars because, again, the beginning aspects of it I wasn't with. Then it became a match of one-upsmanship with the double team maneuvers. It just seemed like each team was just trying to do who could do the who could get the better pop doing a double team maneuver, and it lost me there. The ridiculousness of the total elimination, the ladder eating total elimination, just. ECW is not for everyone. Yeah. And that spot was not for me.
Yeah. And I could see why it wasn't, but I'm such a mark for the total elimination and shit. It was almost a reflex and shit, but I do acknowledge how goofy it was.
I mean, like, they had already did the total elimination. They had put, like, New Jack between 2 tables and then total eliminated the tables back in the day. You know what I'm saying? They had fucking the Samoan dweebs when they hugged each other and shit. And they got totally eliminated.
That's one of my favorites.
Mine too. But the one where they do total elimination to a ladder, you know what I'm saying, they continue the match and thwart RVD and Sabu, it's just too much. The post-match was hilarious, though.
Yeah. So, speaking of post-match and total elimination, so Sabu gets totally eliminated, and it looked like one of the more awkward total eliminations, in my opinion, because, like, he just looked like he was standing there like he was taking a class picture or something. You know what I'm saying? And then he just, it's a little awkward to me, but Anyway, so Taz, he comes out and he starts whacking on Sabu and RVD with the chair. RVD, unfortunately, it's not his night because he gets locked into the Kata Hajime. And he looks like he's being murdered on national TV.
Meanwhile, the Eliminators are holding Sabu in Rob Van Dam's face and shit, where he can't even do nothing and shit. It's hilarious.
Oh, Taz spits in this nigga. Sabu's face and shit. And oh shit. And then
He grabbed a chair. You know what I'm saying? This is what happened. He grabbed a chair while the Eliminators was holding Sabu. He's about to act like he's about to hit him with the chair.
Right.
Throws the chair down, then spit on this nigga. Then this nigga eats total elimination again.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. Taz then tells Sabu he doesn't need a weapon to take him out. All he needs is for you, Sabu, to grow some balls and show up on April 13th. Great segment.
Yeah, fucking awesome. Oh man, and the antithesis to a great segment comes this segment. I've been to the track, the horse track one time and shit. So I was betting off the names and shit. So like I felt like some names like just had instant ale all over it and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like a name like Terry Funk and shit, like it's a girl's name and it's Funk, and you know what I'm saying? Like you would think it's, and then meanwhile you have Tommy Wildfire Rich and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, Wildfire, you know what I'm saying? And I was rooting for the Wildfire. I mean, I was proud of him for taking off on Terry Funk a couple weeks ago. That was some real nigga shit and shit. Well done, Tommy Rich. But for the most of the match, of this bullshit match and shit, Wildfire, he looked like a sparkler and shit.
Trying to hold that shit.
Yes. So,
Thank God for post.
and no, you better not edit that out. You better not. I will hijack the rest of the show, and you'll have to edit out every time I talk about how I made you pop and shit.
Pause. That's what he said.
Yeah, son of a bitch. So.
I'll keep it.
Oh man. So my bad. So he does end up landing a DDT on Funk and shit. And then for some reason he decides I'm talking about Tommy Rich. He DDTs Terry Funk, and then he DDTs Molyneux not once but twice.
The only reason this match is not negative infinity is because he DDT'd Molyneux 2 times.
For no particular reason either. He had Funk down, and then he's like, hey, come here. Boom.
This match was the shit.
It was brutal. And then speaking of the shits, Funk wins with his shit finisher move just to get to the end of shit. His punk ass spinning toe hold.
Negative infinity.
I concur. I hate when I hate when tag teams, the main event, but you know what I'm saying, ECW and certain shit like Brothers of Destruction versus DX or something like that. I'll tolerate it and allow it. But there's no way that this 6-man match should be the main event of the evening. But yet here we are. So we have the triple threat out in the ring. We have the American Badass, Brian Lee.
The Undead Bulldozer, Brian Lee.
We have Cuck, Chris Candido.
Cuck Master, Chris Candido.
And we have the franchise and the last member of the great stable known as Hot Stuff International, founded by my hero, my mentor, and its leader, the King of Philadelphia, my namesake, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. I'm talking about Shane Douglas.
Church.
They are facing off against... Hold on. Who did I say? Oh, yes. So they're facing off against Tommy, Chucky, and Phil, the Rugrats. Oh, my bad. That's Tommy, Gary, and Anthony. Just as bad.
Sound like 3 members of a 5-man boy band.
Oh, the pussy whipped and shit. Yeah.
Suckers for love.
So they're coming out to porno music, which plays for like 5 minutes and shit.
Oh no. This nigga Tommy Dreamer had on the 1997 Pitbull's t-shirt.
Oh, the one that went on sale after, while Gary had a broken neck and shit.
Why that nigga was looking like a deep sea diver. That nigga like Cuba Gooding Jr. in Men of Honor and shit.
Trying to ocean walk and shit.
Cannabis connection in the house.
420 boys in the building. Because it's pure chaos and shit. They fighting all over the place using chairs and guardrails and shit. Anthony's getting choked with a chain, which I love. By was that Cuck Candido? Who had this nigga hemmed up and shit, looked like he was about to kill him. That's kind of cool. But things finally do settle down about 10 minutes into the match when they start to focus on Tommy Dreamer and shit.
Pitbulls are done outside the ring. Fam, them niggas is gassed. They was going hard for like 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden, Tommy's in the heat spot. Them niggas is on the apron, sucking all the oxygen out of the ECW arena. Dang.
So yeah, like you said, Tommy was in the heat spot and shit. Beulah, she tries to come in to help and shit, but that draws the attention of Cloudy, which is the transvestite male Sonny and shit.
Exactly.
So she hop on that nigga back and shit. They scurry off to the back. You know what I'm saying? They end up in the back with her on his neck. You know what I'm saying?
Cloudy's back.
Yeah. Then there's a spot where they all at the same time hit a rude awakening on all of their opponents and shit. Which draws the attention of a masked Rick Rude and shit. Rick Rude, he distracts them long. He's on the mic talking shit and shit. So it is distracts the heels long enough for the Rugrats to recover. Gary ends up hitting Shane with the rude awakening. He pins him and he pulls him up on the count of 2. I'm sorry.
Shout out to 2 Cold Scorpio.
A la 2 Cold Scorpio, yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, you cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here struggling and shit. But yeah, a la 2 Cold Scorpio and shit, like you said. Franny gets on the apron and Rick Rude spanks Franny on the fanny.
Franny gets her fanny spanked.
Great minds.
I wrote my shit February 5th, 2020.
Oh man, I wrote my shit this morning. Oh shit. So, the match ends up winning with, oh boy, here we go. All right, so y'all strap in for this shit. So let me just bring you up to speed. We were just making fun of Gary for having a broken neck and being in the Marine suit.
That nigga look like Deep Six off G.I. Joe.
Less cool and shit.
right. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Doofus Foods in the house.
So this nigga he just came back from a broke neck. He's re-injured his shit last week.
Yes.
So fast forward to this match, to the finish of this match, they put Shane Douglas across the table. Somehow these 3 geniuses think it's a great idea to super bomb the nigga with the broke neck from the top rope on down onto Shane Douglas through the table, which they did, and it secured them the victory. And guess what the fuck happened? This nigga Gary had to get carted off again because he was holding his goddamn neck. Now, as ridiculous as that sounds, watching it, knowing all of that happened leading up to it, it makes it even more ridiculous. I don't even know what to say. Foods, your thoughts?
That one spot made the match for me. Because otherwise, I didn't give a shit about nothing until Gary got fucked up with his neck again. I started laughing. I said, these niggas is idiots.
And his boys did it too. They've been fighting for, especially Anthony whole ass, they've been fighting for this nigga week after week and shit. And you gonna cripple him again?
This nigga has been getting demon dropped through tables off of security trucks, off the top of the Eagle's Nest. This nigga Tommy Dreamer is getting his ass whipped. His bitch done got belly to belly this shit for this nigga Gary. And guess what these 3 Mensa members have done? They have concocted the perfectly sane idea to super bomb Gary onto Shane Douglas through a fucking table. The victory was Pyrrhic at best. Because this nigga said, my neck, my neck. Damage Control comes out. Anthony celebrates with the fans. LOL. Why are you not looking after your partner?
Forgot about that part. Oh, forgot.
Gary gets stretchered out. The heels roll Shane out. The undead bulldozer and real American badass Brian Lee carry him away.
Overall, this show, it was something. I mean, it had its good spots. Not a big fan of the main event, even though, like the Foods just said, the very last spot. Fucking comedy gold and shit. Like, I don't know if that was just supposed to be like a comedic spot or something, but whatever the case may be, I definitely LOL'd. The first segment made me sad as shit because I'm not looking forward to Barely Legal, but that's neither here nor there. But overall, as you would say when you were doing play-by-play, for the sake of for historical purposes, I would highly recommend it. It has been my honor and my pleasure hosting this particular segment and shit. I'm working, workshopping a new go.
This shit is terrible.
All right, well, I'm going to keep practicing, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Watch the show if you want to. If not, I don't know. But, Foods, take us away. I'll keep working on it.
Couple of notes. I think this show was on the WWE Network.
I didn't even look. I figured, I assumed, and I probably shouldn't, I assumed Barely Legal will be on there.
Oh, yeah, that's pay-per-view. Yeah, all pay-per-views on the network.
So, you know, that'll probably be how I'll be watching it.
In a few days, coming up next, Extreme Retro Review number 250. Until then, life is work. Make sure you get paid for it. We out. Peace.
Peace.